Hey guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be doing yet another photo critique. So you guys submitted your photos into my Facebook post and I picked a bunch of them out and I'm going to be going over them, critiquing them, giving you guys tips. So let's get started. And by the way, I didn't bring Judge Jessie back. I don't know where the wig is. It's like a whole thing. I don't know where the outfit is right now, but she will make a comeback eventually. Judge Jessie is on break right now. Last I heard, she's in the Bahamas, which is kind of where I'd like to be too. Before we begin, this video is brought to you guys by Squarespace. Whether you guys need a domain, a website, or an online store, make your next move with Squarespace. They are the website that I use to host my website. They have an all-in-one platform. They have easy-to-use templates. They have amazing customer service. So if you're a photographer and you're looking to make a website and you don't really know where to go, I would 100% recommend it. You guys can start your free trial today by going to squarespace.com/Jessica. Use my offer code, it's Jessica, and you can get 10% off your first purchase. So definitely check them out. I absolutely love their platform. So with that being said, let's start criticizing people constructively. I know how to use my computer. So I chose a couple photos. Let's go to the first one. Who's it gonna be? Okay, so first photo is by Anna Baur, and again, disclaimer, I'm probably gonna butcher everybody's name in this. I'm really sorry, even though I come from a family where everyone butchers our names. So first photo I have here is by Anna Baur, and it's a beautiful photo of a girl laying down on some grass. It looks to be like some direct sun. And I chose this photo to critique because I wanted to give you just a little bit of pointers. But first, I really wanted to start out by saying I love the fact that you shot in direct sun. It's not a type of light that a lot of photographers want to use. I think it is very intimidating when you first start out. I know I didn't really use direct sun. I was like, where's the basement? I need something covering this. Give me a tree. Let me create some shade. I think photographers like shade. I know I do. But in all seriousness, this is a great photo. I really like that you expose properly for the light. The only suggestions I would make for this are little things such as, you know, this piece of hair around her mouth. I'd probably just move that out of the way or retouch it out. And another thing I noticed is that one of her eyes, the eye area is kind of bothering me just a little bit. Maybe next time use a reflector to bounce back some light. As you can see, the eye that is closer to the grass is kind of in shadow and it kind of like loses a little bit of the detail. I would like to see that a little bit more. So in this case, I would recommend using a reflector just to bounce back some of that light back onto her face and making it a little bit more exposed. So I commend you again for using this type of light, and yeah, keep experimenting and practicing. Good job. Good job, Anna. I'm proud of you. Okay, so next photo belongs to Beatriz Almeida. So first with this photo, I must say I really do love the tones. I think you did such a great job with the coloring. The skin texture is great, the exposure, well done. So that you did a good job with that. So the only thing I would tell you to watch out for is the hair covering the eye. If you are gonna have hair covering a facial feature, I would probably make it a little bit more intentional. So just watch out for that. It's something that you would probably have to fix when you are taking the picture. Something like this would be hard to do in post-production. So another thing you can try is maybe having her neck showing a little bit more. So I see that there's, you know, one of the pieces of her hair is completely out and then half of the other one is kind of out. You know, next time just have her tuck that whole part back in. Other than those little things, I would say this is overall a really good photo. If I'm being like super nitpicky, you can probably just clone stamp this little patch up here. You see how the whole frame is filled with flowers, and then the top left corner there's a little space with like, you can see the sky. Maybe just clone stamp that in with some flowers so it kind of just fills in the whole frame. But other than that, I think you did a good job. Okay, so the next photo is by BRENT Adrian. First thing that caught my eye for this photo was the pose. I like the fact that, you know, you picked something different and, you know, the model's trying out new things, which is really great, especially when you're first starting out. Models sometimes are not gonna know all the dynamic poses. So one go-to thing that a lot of models do if they're first starting out is like play with their hair and grab their hair and have their hand in their hair, which is again totally fine. For this, I think it's a little bit too much. I think she's pulling back almost too much. If you had her almost like very subtly, kind of like very soft, holding back her hair, I think it would have came across a little bit less intense. Especially you can see like the pieces of hair that are gathered between her fingers can be a little distracting. And this is just my personal preference. And also watch the light, because I see that there's specks of light, like sections of light that are hitting her face, and though they're well exposed, they can again be very distracting because most of her face is in shade, and then again you have those sections of light. So if you want to do something like that, again, I would make it just a little bit more intentional. I probably would have just cropped it a little bit lower so that the crop is a little bit closer and it's more like a portrait, because the leaves and everything, I don't know if that really adds to the photo a lot. But other than that, I mean, I think you're on the right track, and it's a very nice portrait to begin with. So I think you have a good base. I would just go ahead and refine that. So good job, Brent, and thanks for submitting this to me. So the next photo is by Daniel Carson, and first I just want to say I think you did a wonderful job with the coloring of this image. I really love the tones. I think it complements the image. Little things that you could change to maybe improve this picture is something, again, that you would have to fix when you're shooting. So for instance, if I'm taking a portrait and if the model's sticking her head out and she's kind of like leaning in like this, her face will be in focus and the rest of her body will just be blurry. So that is kind of what I'm seeing here, which can be a little bit distracting. So maybe next time, literally just have the model pull back a little bit. So instead of something like this, you can just do something like this, and you can get her entire body in focus. I like the environment and the color grading, so I think you did a good job. The editing is great, so keep it up. Also, what coffee is she drinking? Because I'm kind of thirsty and hungry right now. Like, let me take a picture that good with my glasses on. Like, it's not gonna look that good. It won't. So the next photo is by Julia McKenna, and I have to say, Julia, I think you did such a good job. The way that she's posed, I think everything from the retouching to the toning is really great. Little things I would suggest to improve this photo. The fact that the bottom half is really light and then the top half it's just like black. It's like, I just want to know why almost. Maybe if you could just extend that and make this part also as light, because there feels like a little bit of a disconnect. Maybe if you could have, I think this is like a fabric you draped over, maybe just if you pulled it a little bit further out, or if you wanted to, you can crop it in a little bit more. That would have been a little bit more interesting for the photo. Other than that, watch the hair, because little strands of hair can be really distracting. Like for instance, if your hair is, see how my hair is like all tucked in one piece, but then when you start making it piecey like this, it can kind of start to become distracting. That's just with me. I've also done this in my pictures, and I'm trying to, improve on that with my photos. So that's why I'm telling you. Maybe next time you can even pull her hair back or like bobby pin it. Other than that, I think this is such a wonderful photo. You did a really, really good job. So next photo is by Alina Denk, and I have to say this is such a beautiful photo. Great job with the lighting, and I love the location you chose. It's really nicely exposed, so I mean, you did such a good job. The only thing that I would have wished is maybe had the model doing a more interesting pose, because right now, again, it's looking a little blocky. Like her hands are at her sides and she's just standing a little bit straight. Even if you would have just had her literally lift up her arms a little bit, it would have created a more interesting shape and dimension to your photo. So that is really the only critique that I can give you. Just something a little bit more dynamic with your posing. You have, like, I feel like I just want to go there, like go get in a time machine, go to this picture and like just have her sit down, you know, like move a leg, or like maybe like bend her arms a little bit just to create a little bit of shape. And I feel like instead of having her arms to the side, if you would have literally just told her just to lift her arms up a little bit more and take her shoulder, like move it to the side, maybe have her looking this way, would have created even more interest, and it would have just elevated your photo. Yeah, Lina, next time just think about the shape, creating shape in your picture, you know, how where the arm placement is and the leg placement can really transform your picture. It's very, very important. So other than that, yeah, good job, and thank you for submitting this. So next photo is Polipar Nova, and looks like it's a semi-portrait. Like, is it gonna be a portrait? Could we have cropped it to be? Let's crop it to be a portrait. Let me see. Oh, if we were to crop this into a portrait, it becomes even more interesting. So I think number one thing, crop it. Crop. The background just kind of seems distracting. Like there's trees and there. Listen, I like grass. I love trees. I like nature in pictures. I think the retouch is really nice, although I probably would have gone a little bit softer on the eyes. I can tell that you probably went in and refined them a little bit. I don't think that this photo really needed it. Maybe you could have been a little bit more subtle with that. But otherwise, you know, the retouch is really nice, and I think you did a good job. Just again, practice with the cropping. Cropping in can really make a difference with your photos. Like, look, even if I cropped it in like this much, like a nice portrait, that just looks so gorgeous. So that's something to consider. Next picture is by WANDAL, OULAMARA. Some things that I would suggest for this picture: watch the pieces of hair. Man, I'm on a hair spree today. We're just destroying pieces of hair. Have you ever taken like a really nice portrait and then you zoom in and it's like a single piece of hair and you're like, oh, how did you get there? Who invited you into this picture? So yeah, just watch the little pieces of hair. I can notice here across her face, there's a strand. Look, you guys, if it's like really intentional, you could probably keep it. But if it's like a single, two pieces of hair, just like, hey guys, I'm here. We just showed up on this picture. We're here to ruin your life. Just retouch it out. Other than that, there's hair on the side you can also clean up. I would probably watch out picking a photo where, you know, all of her fingers are in except one. I don't know what is this? Oh, this is sign language, isn't it? E, F, G? No. Other little things. I'm not sure about the pose where, you know, she's leaning her head in and then her whole neck is covered. Something about the angle or the way that her head is positioned is kind of throwing me off. So right now the picture's looking kind of like this. I think to improve, maybe next time, instead of having her like this, have her pull her head back and see how my hair is kind of covering a lot of the details here. Again, just pulling the hair back. It doesn't have to like be all the way pulled back. And you can still do something like this. You can still have the hair right here. There's nothing wrong with it. But when the hair starts to cover the neck, you can see it, you kind of just lose that interest in the photo. Like, you want there to be some kind of body shape here that people can see, especially the neck. The neck, you don't want to cover it too much in pictures, especially a close portrait like this. I mean, you're almost expecting to see the neck or like some shape of the chin or something. So the fact that it's covered is a little bit bothersome. So maybe, again, for instance, I'm covering, like if I'm covering a lot of my neck versus my neck is showing. So just think about that when taking a portrait like this. I know when you're shooting, sometimes you don't notice certain things like that. I've been on a shoot where I'm like, oh my god, the pictures are amazing, and you know, I just snap away, and then later I pull back and I realize, oh my god, like her shirt was folded in wrong, or like her earring was like lopsided. So maybe just take a step back before taking the picture and kind of adjust things. And again, that's something that I'm still learning how to do better. I definitely can improve on that myself. So I think as photographers, we get so excited and we get so caught up with just taking the pictures, and that we forget to go ahead and adjust it, especially if we don't have a stylist. We don't have someone like looking out for that kind of stuff. So you have to kind of be the stylist. We have to be the wedding planner, the coordinator, the stylist, hairstylist, makeup artist. You gotta be everything. Business instructor, the guy who mows the lawn, the gardener. At this point, you should just deliver your own pizza. Like, why? We take on a lot of roles as photographers, so I mean, why stop there? I mean, so that's the end of the photo critique. I really hoped you guys liked it. I hope that I was helpful and I gave you guys some tips to really consider and think about. If you guys want to submit your photo to the critique, I will have a Facebook post specifically for the photo critique. So just watch out for that. I will be announcing that either through my Instagram or on my Facebook or Twitter, so just check those. And I also really want to thank you guys for submitting your pictures. I mean, it's a pretty courageous thing to do. Be in the position where you put your photo out there in front of thousands of people. So I really want to thank you guys because this is also helping other people learn too. So we'll see you guys in the next photo critique, and maybe Judge Jessie will make a comeback. In the meantime, crop it! I'm not going to make crop it happen. It's just not going to